Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and get comfortable, get excited, because today we're talking about all of the books that I have read this summer break. Okay, I'm actually so excited for this video because I read a lot of good books this summer. So basically, my summer ends on the 22nd. I move back into college, so I thought I would make this video now. Basically, I'm moving in on the 22nd back to my college apartment. I'm going to be living with all three of my best friends. I'm so excited. I'll probably make a moving in vlog because we're moving to a whole different apartment, like 4-bed, 4-bath. Like, I cannot be more excited. But I read a lot of good books this summer, so I really wanted to make a video and give you my reviews, tell you how I felt about them, and just basically, I'll try to keep spoilers to a minimum. I don't want to spoil anything in case like you haven't read any of these books. Actually, I'm not going to spoil anything. I won't spoil anything. It's just so like if you haven't read any of these books, I'm not like giving you the ending for them. But anyways, I have my tea, peppermint tea, and I have my blanket. I'm so excited for this video. I just love talking about books, so this is gonna be a good one. I'm gonna just pull up my laptop because it has all of my ratings on there. Guys, summer has gone by so fast this year. Like, usually for me it goes by so slow, and sometimes like I'm just like, oh my gosh, like how are we still in summer? But it went by so fast, and I think it's because I like traveled a lot. I just had a lot going on, so time just went by faster. But I'm honestly so excited because fall is my favorite season, which means pumpkins and apples, like two of my favorite things. If you know me, you know I love anything apple flavored. So I'm super excited. I just love everything warm, comfy, cozy. I love fall. Fall in the Midwest, by the way, so fun. That's like the one thing I love about Indiana is their fall season, because there's just so much like things to do. Like there's like apple picking and like pumpkin patches and hay rides. Just like, I enjoy so much of it. I'm really excited. Let me pull up the ratings. I don't think I wrote. Guys, I'm trying to get back into using Goodreads, but like, I don't know why. I just like don't like using it. I don't know why. I've started logging all my books on there, so I'll link it if you guys want to see it. And then I just got a Fable account, and I'm thinking about starting like a book club there. We'll have to see. I'll have to see how busy I get during the school year because I have a lot on my plate. It is my junior year. So these are not in order because I don't remember what order I read them in. My bad. I actually do remember the first one that I read this summer. The first book that I read this summer was Powerless by Lauren Roberts. Are these showing up backwards to you guys? It's fine. So this was really good. I was like, the first time I ever got into reading was like in middle school, and then the books that got me into reading are like dystopian books like Divergent and Hunger Games and like books like that. And I like, after that I started getting into fantasy. Like, I didn't even touch romance books then, and I just like stopped reading like fantasy books that much. But I read this book and I fell in love with it. Like, Kai is my husband. This man is so perfect, and like I love this book because like it's kind of like a he like fell first and harder type of trope, and I love that. And it's kind of like an enemies to like something situation. But I got the second book to this like series. I just haven't read it yet because like the ending, it ended on such a like cliffhanger. I almost don't want to like see what happens next, but I'll probably end up reading it sometime by the end of this year. And I rated this a 5, and I rate all of my books 1 through 5, and 3 to 5, like 3, like 3.5. I liked them, like I enjoyed reading them, and 5 is like, oh my gosh, this is like the best book I ever read. And I felt like that when I read this book. So definitely you have to read this. Even if you're not a big fantasy reader, I highly recommend this. I think you'll like it. Next, we're gonna go in another fantasy book, The Serpent and the Wings of Night. I thoroughly enjoyed this book. I rated it a 4.5. I feel like in some points it did drag on a little bit more than like necessary, but I loved their like the banter between like the main characters and the way their like relationship grew, and the twist at the end. I like wasn't expecting it at all, which is why like I highly rated this, because like like the end was like very unexpected, and it like the entire time the book really just keeps you on your toes. So I did thoroughly enjoy reading this book. I haven't bought the second one yet. I know it's out. I just haven't gotten it because it's only available in hardcover, and this is a paperback. So I'm waiting for the other book to be on paperback, because I hate when my series like they're like one is in like paperback and the other is in hardback. It's like such a big pet peeve of mine, and that pisses me off. So I'm waiting for this one to be on paperback. I read the second and third books of the Off-Campus series. I wanted the fourth book as well, but I shop for most of my books on Target because I get rewards from Target, and it's just like I get the best out of getting them from Target, and they never have the fourth book, so I just like never got the fourth book. I just ordered it off Amazon. So I read the second and the third. I read the first one like the beginning of this year, and I really loved it. I actually cried when I read the first book. I genuinely sobbed because I want a man like Gerrit Graham. Like, that man was literal perfection. Like, if I could describe my dream man to you, Cade Eaton and Gerrit Graham. So I absolutely love that book, and so I read The Score, which is the third book, and The Mistake, which is the second book. I rated The Mistake a 4.7, and I rated The Score a 4.25. Okay, now let me get into it. I really liked this book. I think it held up all of my expectations about like what I wanted this book to be like. Playboy like redeems himself for like the girl that he like really wants, and all that. And I feel like this man was like so like charming throughout this entire book, and he really like put his all into this girl, and like he knew what he wanted, and like he went and got it. Like that one Taylor Swift song, So High School, like you like he knew what he wanted and he went and got it. And so I really liked the man in this book. I rated it a 4.7 because I didn't quite like it as much as I liked the first one, but overall it was a really good book. Now for The Score, I rated this, I told you, a 4.25. So far this is my least favorite book in the entire series. I feel like in the beginning, the way that they like their entire like relationship kickstarted, I just like wasn't a big fan of. Compared to the other two books, I just didn't like how this one like started off, like the relationship between the two of them. But the way the relationship progressed and everything like that, I really liked. The way he really just like changed for her, and the way their relationship is at the end, I did really enjoy, which is why I still rated it a 4.25. It just didn't measure up to the first like two books. Next, I read King of Wrath and King of Pride. I don't have my copy of King of Wrath with me right now because my sister's reading it. She took the book with her right now, so it's in her room. But King of Wrath is the first book in the Kings of Sin series, and I rated that a 4. I really enjoyed reading it. It was like a really easy read. I have just like strayed away from like billionaire romances. I used to enjoy them a lot, especially like the one like series by Lauren Asher. The Dreamland Billionaire series. I fully like enjoyed it. I loved that series a lot, and so that's what I went into this like book series with as well. Like, OMG, like billionaire romance, like I'm gonna love it a lot. I liked it, but I wasn't like, it's something about like billionaire romances and like Marriage of Convenience. I don't know what it is, but the way like the guy like treats the girl in the beginning of the book really just like sets me off sometimes about like billionaire romances and like Marriage of Convenience and stuff like that. I rated that a 4. Now on to King of Pride. I rated this a 3. I liked reading it. Like, I had a good time while I was reading it. Like, it was also another easy read. I feel like Ana Huang books are like a lot of easy reads. So it's like good to read them when you're in a book slump or something like that, because they're really, really, really easy to get through. But this felt so like insta love for me. There was no pining. There was no like, oh my god, like I want her so bad. There wasn't anything like that. Like in the beginning they were just like, oh, like you're together. I want more pining. I want more like, I'm gonna do everything in my power to be with you. Like, I want you so bad, like, but I can't have you, but I want you. Like, I want that. I unfortunately only rated this a 3. Next, we have The Dixon Rule by Elle Kennedy. I thought I wasn't gonna enjoy this book because of how thick it was. I did really like it. I rated it a 3.75. I enjoyed reading it. I just didn't like how it was so thick. The banter between them was so cute. It was funny. Like, the banter was funny. Like, it engaged me a lot. I did enjoy reading it. Her books are really, really like easy to read. The main like characters had really good chemistry. So I rated this a 3.75. Oh, and this is also a fake dating. I really like fake dating, and I feel like some authors do a really good job at it. I'm about to show you one author that did a phenomenal job at it, in my opinion, and I really enjoyed that book, so we'll get into it. Actually, we'll just get into it now. I read the first 2 books in the Kane Brothers series. I read A Not So Meet Cute, which is the first one, and this is the fake dating. So like basically this girl just lost her job that like she's been like hoping for a promotion, and like she just like lost her job, and so she just goes walking around like these like really rich homes trying to find a rich husband, and she stumbles upon this like guy who's also looking for like a fake like fiance because he just lied to his boss about having one. And they like meet and they decide to like start fake dating, but they cannot stand each other. And so this entire book is just them bickering, and like there's so much good banter and like funny banter, and like the slip from like hating each other, well, not hating each other but being annoyed from each other, to like falling in love to each other is so like gradual. You almost don't notice it, and which is why I really like that about this book. It's because like it's not so one moment I'm like, I literally don't like you, I can't stand you, to like, OMG, I'm in love with you. Like, it's like such a gradual shift that you don't even notice it. So I did really, really enjoy this book. And then the second book in this series, these are both by Megan Quinn, by the way. I don't think I said that. Did I say what I rated this? I rated a Not So Meet Cute a 4.5. I loved this book. It was so good. And then the next one is So Not Meant to Be. This also thoroughly enjoyed. I rated this a 4.35. It didn't quite match up to the first book, but it was so good. I love Megan Quinn's writing style. I think it's so like easy to read, but at the same time there is slight depth to it. And also like the characters are so like well written that you just want to keep reading, and they have such like intricate like relationships with you. I just think that she did such a good job. And this one is basically like the main male character in the first book, his younger brother, and then the main female character's sister. And so like that's like the relationship between the two of them. They can't stand each other. Like the main male character is so like annoying, and she just can't stand him, and they have to like go on this like work trip together and live in the same pet house together. So it's like forced proximity, and just like enemies to lovers. And yeah, it's super enjoyable. You're like laughing the entire time you're reading this. And then there's also points of like seriousness where it's like, okay, like take me seriously, like this is how I feel about you, like this is what I want like to happen, like this is where I want this to go. But yeah, highly recommend anything by Megan Quinn. I just ordered the third book in this series and I'm so excited to read it. on to the next book. This has been one of my favorite reads this summer. I recently just got into Emily Henry. The first Emily Henry book I read was People We Meet on Vacation. I read that like I think 2 years ago, but I really enjoyed that book. I had such a fun time reading it. I recommended it to my sister too. I gave it to her. She didn't end up reading it and she destroyed the book in the process. I still have it, but it's like somewhere in my library. But that was like the first book I read, and I like loved Emily Henry's like writing style, and like I loved that book. And I just found out they're making it into a movie, and I will be I will be there the first day it releases, and I will be watching that because I'm so excited about that. But I just read Happy Place by Emily Henry, and I rated this a 5 because I loved it so much. The way that she writes her like male like characters, it gives them like so much more depth than I see like a lot of like authors give me like male like characters. I don't know like what it is about them, but also the fact that they're like it starts off like the two like love interests, like they're broken up and then they're like forced to like be together for like a week. I think it's a week. They're forced to be together for like a week because they're in the same friend group and they just like broke up, but their like other two friends are like getting engaged, and so now they're like just have to be together all the time, and like a lot of past like miscommunications and stuff like that like resurfaces, and once they like clear the air and like once they like finally understand what like went wrong in the relationship and how they go about like going on from there. I just think that Emily Henry does such a good job of taking like real life like relationship issues and like actually like making them so accurate in books, which is why I like really liked this book. And in all like seriousness, like it was so realistic to me, and how she wrote the characters and how much like I felt the pain that she was like feeling at some points in the book. Like that's how much like her writing like makes you feel, especially in this book. So I rated this a 5. Next, we have my favorite series I have read this summer, and possibly, actually not this year because I read the Fourth Wing series and I really liked it, but I read the Chestnut Springs series. I didn't know what I was missing out on cowboy romances until I read this series. Like, you're telling me like cowboys are this fine? These books really did it for me. So I'll just go one by one through like all of them. Okay, the first book in the series is Flawless. This is actually my least favorite book in the series, but I still loved it when I read it. But this one I rated a 3.75. I enjoyed reading the book a lot. I didn't enjoy the characters as much though. The like main like female character was fine. Like there was like nothing like really that wrong with her, but the main male character really just like got on my nerves because he was acting like a big baby, and I hate men that act like big like whiny babies. Like, why are you whining? Like, are you 5? That was like him in this book. And like throughout like the other books, he definitely like grew on me a lot, but the first book I just like didn't like him. Still enjoyed reading it. Next, and quite possibly one of my 2 favorite books in this series, Heartless. Oh my god, Cade Eaton. I don't know what it is about a hot man who wears a cowboy hat and has like a child that he is utterly in love with, but it just makes him like 10 times hotter. I'm not even joking. I need this man like right now. Like I need this man so bad. Like I'm down bad. I rated this book a 5. I rated this book a 5. I enjoyed it that much. Like I just said previously, like I want to enjoy like the characters that I'm reading in this book, and both the characters, the female character and the male character, I loved. I like didn't want to put this book down. I'm pretty sure I read it in one sitting. I don't remember. Willa, she's so iconic, and she's so like, oh, like in the beginning, like they literally met because she like dropped her panties like I'm pretty sure in a cafe, and he picked it up, and she was like, you can have it, like, keep it. I would never be able to do that, but like, it's so like fun reading like a girl who can. She is an icon. She is amazing. Next is Powerless. I liked this book. I didn't like it as good as Heartless, but I liked it better than Flawless, so I rated it a 4. It was fun to read. It's like childhood best friends. Childhood best friends. She falls first. He like kind of resists her in the beginning, and there's like family issues involved, and like past traumas like also like involved in this book, and there's a lot like that these two characters have to deal with, and the way that they dealt with it honestly like made me really like this book, because they had so much like bad things given to them, and they still came out of it. They still came out of it strong, which is why I rated this book a 4, because I did enjoy it. I did enjoy like the characters and the relationship. I don't think anything can come as close as this book. It did things to me, guys. It really did. Going on to the next one, which also just, I don't know what it is about a man that is also a father, but it just really does it for me. I don't know what it is. I couldn't tell you, but Reckless. This is also like a it's kind of a single dad trope, kind of not. Like, I don't really know how to explain this, but basically like she's pregnant, she has this kid, he doesn't know, and then he finds out later on. Like, yeah, it's a big whole ordeal. It wasn't his fault, but she like obviously like thinks it is, and so like he has this like relationship to men. Like, he has like all this time that like he could have spent with his like kid that like he missed, that he's trying to like redeem himself, like he's trying to redeem this relationship, and everything else like that. And this man, he like, the charm that he has is unmatched. Like, he is so charming and so flirtatious. Like, I'm like reading this book like thinking this man's like flirting with me. Also, another man that I have fallen in love with this summer. I have fallen in love with a good 5 men, and they were all like fictional and in my book. So, and then the 5th book and the last book in the Chestnut Springs series by Elsie Silver, Hopeless. I rated this a 4.5. This book, this man has gone through so much. The turn at the end, like the secret that he was keeping at the end, I honestly did not expect it at all. Like, I was flabbergasted. Like, I feel like she did like a really good job on this. This is also a fake dating, like fake fiance, stuff like that. He is ex-military. He's very like confused on his like life progress right now. Like, she's like this like, not like, she's not a girl that needs help, but like she is in a bad situation, and this like is her trying to like help her get out of it, and that's how like they fall in love. It's kind of like there is an age gap. There's also an age gap in Heartless. These two have age gaps, and I usually don't like age gap type books, but when they're done right, they're good, and I feel like Elsie Silver did a good job at them. So yes, this has been like my favorite like romance series I have read in a hot minute, and probably ever. And I'm not sure if anything can top this, but if it can, like, I'm so excited to read it. I love these books. I still think about these books, and I still think about these characters, because they honestly, like, as you keep reading them, like, she has a way, like, Elsie Silver has a way of making you seem like you're a part, like, you're in this book, and you're a part of their family. Like she did such a good job with the series. And I love you, Elsie Silver, for that. Thank you so much for giving me such an amazing read this summer. Adding on to more Elsie Silver, I read Wild Love. This is the Rose Hill series, and this is book 1 in her Rose Hill series. This follows Willa's brother and his like childhood best friend. So it's another like childhood like best friend, like rekindled. Like he hasn't seen her in years. He just goes like, he goes back to like his hometown and like they're neighbors again. And she like starts working as his assistant because she just like lost her job, all that. I rated this book a 3.5. I enjoyed reading it. I like kind of DNF'd it for a little bit because I had more expectations for this book and they just weren't like achieved. I feel like there could have been more romance between the two characters. It kind of just like went on from like acting like they were friends to just like very quickly going on to like being more than friends, and there was no like it could have used more pining in my opinion. So that's why I rated it a 3.5. I also just didn't like it as much as I liked the books in her previous like Chestnut Spring series. So 3.5, it was still like a good read. I did end up finishing the book, but it took me like a week and a half to like get back into it. Last but certainly not least, my last book that I am showing you. I love this book. It's like engraved into my head. This author did such a good job with this book. This is a 5 in my opinion. Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. I only read this book because I saw somebody say that it was really good on TikTok, and I was like, you know what, like let me like give it a shot, like blah blah this. I couldn't put it down. I like started reading it and then I was like, holy shit, like I'm already on page like 131. Like how the fuck, like I just started like 5 minutes ago. It's so like easy to get immersed into this book, and like it's so easy to like really like feel all of the feelings that the main character is feeling. Like Abby Jimenez does such a good job at really grasping all those emotions and making her like readers feel all the emotions that like the main character is feeling. And like the love story in this, unmatched. It was so unique. Like at first I didn't think I was gonna like it because it was like 2 strangers meeting online. She's like flying like all the way there to like meet up with him. Like how is this gonna go? But it was so like, it was different, but a good different, and I didn't expect it, which is why I think I liked it a lot much more, because my hopes were like, not my hopes, but like my expectations were a little low going into this book. And not only did she like go above and beyond, she completely exceeded my expectations for this book. The writing style, like the characters, like the development in their relationship, everything. She did such a good job at like getting real world problems and putting them in this book and making them in a way that is so realistic but so hopeful and motivational, and like it makes your readers like think like, oh my god, they're going through so much in their relationship and they're still coming out like together, like it's working out for them. It makes you feel like anything could work out for you like in the real life as well. So another 5-star read. So that was all of my books that I've read this summer. I had such a good reading summer, and I hope this gave you any new recommendations for books. If you take anything away from this book, read Powerless, read Just for the Summer, the Chestnut Spring series, and the books by Megan Quinn, because your life will be changed. And Happy Place. I hope you love talking about books as much as I love talking about books, and we really just shared a nice time together. I already have like a stack of books that I'm like want to read for the rest of this like year, so I'll probably make a video showing you like all of my TBR books for the rest of the year that I want to like get through. It's definitely a huge hefty like stack, and I probably won't get through all of them this year. I'm really just putting the bar high. I don't know if we'll achieve it, but might as well dream big, right? Yeah. I hope you liked sitting with me. I hope you liked talking about books with me. Leave a comment below. Tell me if any of these books, like if you read any of these books, if you liked them, what were your opinions on them, any book recommendations you have based on what I just like showed you and what I like to read. Even if it's something that I didn't say I like to read and you really liked it, just tell me and I'll look into it and I'll read it and I'll tell you my opinions on them. Bye. Love you.